Think of a function as a machine. You put something in, say the number 2, and it spits something else out. Now, what if you line up two of these machines? The output from the first machine becomes the direct input for the second. That's a composite function. We write it as f of g of x, which just means apply the g machine first, then feed its result into the f machine. But here's the crucial part. The order matters. Swapping the machines, g of f of x, will almost always give you a completely different result. It's like putting on your socks than your shoes. Reversing that order doesn't work so well. This idea of sequence leads to another powerful concept. What if you wanted to undo a process? If a function encrypts a message, how do you decrypt it? You need its inverse function. An inverse, written as f inverse, does exactly what the original function did, but in reverse. If f of a equals b, then f inverse of b gets you right back to a. Finding an inverse is a neat algebraic trick. You just swap the x and y variables and solve. Graphically, it's even cooler. The graph of an inverse is a perfect reflection of the original function across the diagonal line y equals x. But there's a catch. Not every function gets to have an inverse. A function must be one-to-one, meaning every output is unique to a single input. If two different inputs give the same output, how would the inverse know which one to go back to? It can't. The quick way to check is the horizontal line test. If you can draw any horizontal line that hits the graph more than once, it fails. No inverse for that function. This isn't just abstract math. Function composition is the logical backbone of the chain rule in calculus, helping us model how a change in one system triggers a chain reaction in another. It's how we build complex ideas from simple, predictable steps.